Howdy, folks. Still can't play anything until, sorry, I was adding Chris to the stream. I can't play anything until I pay for StreamYard, so no theme song this time.
All right. I can't stay for too long because I've got to go down to the feed store and get Derpy a bag of starter crumbles. She can't. She has like a twisted beak. Like beak doesn't meet. Like it kind of like that makes like scissors, right? Like the bottom. What do you call it? Well, the bottom half of the beak like is like doesn't meet the top half. So she won't eat. I've tried like grinding up regular food in the blender. She won't eat it. The only thing she will eat are these stupid starter crumbles. So my landlord's out of town. So I'm going down to the feed store to buy a bag of starter crumbles.
Do you get paid back for that?
Yeah. Yeah. But
okay.
Whatever. What is it? Like $20 or $30 for a bag of starter crumbles that'll last like, if I only give it to her, it'll last me a year.
Okay. Since we were talking about tax stuff in between the things, I was no,
for sure.
That would be something he would look for.
Yeah, he would absolutely take it off. But Derpy is sort of like our little pet chicken. She's like such a little cutie pie. Like when I go over with the feed bucket with the stuff in it, because it was giving it to some of the other little chickens as well, she will hop in the bucket and have a bucket ride across to the like feeding area. And like she'll just sit in the bucket eating the food on the way over. She's like absolutely adorable. And now, when the landlord's kids come over, they like pick her up, and she's just such a funny little chicken. She's
becoming a mascot for the egg process, right?
I guess so. She kind of like, she seems to kind of know her name. Like if you go Derpy, she'll like come running over, but it might just be.
Sorry, Derpy the chicken. Oh God.
Well, here I have a photo of her. I should just bring her in and show you, but maybe another time.
We don't want to see no cocks on camera.
She's not a cock. She's
a hen.
A little hen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where is she now? Here. If I can get
I was gonna say, shoot me a picture of her on Instagram or something.
Oh, I was just gonna open my photo app if I could get it to like. It's being a bit of a pain. It won't. There we go. There's a little picture of Derpy. Hang on here. I just don't want to show me on camera today. I'm not feeling particularly. Yeah, there's Derpy. I don't know if you can kind of see her.
There we go.
See her. It's a little bit.
It's a little too bright. I can't see the beak thing you're talking about.
Yeah, well, you can kind of see how there's like a little like beak here, but there's like a white bit off to one side. That's also her beak. Let's see if you can. No, you can't see her in that.
High contrast.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to figure out why it's so contrasty.
It's because you're showing a you're showing a screen on camera. It tends to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, there you go. That kind of got it for a second there. Anyway, that's little Derpy. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. Unfortunately, she's a chicken.
Caddies, because I think that'd be something funny to have, like as an image for Derpy the chicken. One of Caddy's friend. We lost Chris again.
Yeah.
Caddy's friend completed a set of avatar images for Caddy, which are going to be used in the next review.
Right.
As well as created a new avatar, just 2 images, mouth open, mouth closed for Turtle J, which is my son, because they are going to be in the next review. That review is about 95% done.
I can probably send photos to you on Instagram, because I tried sending a photo the other day, and I don't think if it's not posted, I can't send it. Because I was gonna. Oh no, I can. Hang on a second. Oh, I've got to go and get more photos. I was gonna send you a photo so you could see Derpy.
Too bad you can't put Derpy on
I'll
camera.
be honest. I might post on Instagram, but unless someone is sending me something, I'm not really watching or looking at anything. I know you sent me a couple of things. Elihu sent me a couple of things. Mrs. Viola sent me a couple of things, but I'm just not on Instagram all that much. Yeah, although. I did get my first video on Instagram that went over 1,000 views.
Oh,
yay!
Yeah, the Monopoly frickin' short that I did this week.
Yeah.
is now in the last 28 days my highest viewed video across every platform.
Well, did you realize that last week's pre-politics show stream got about 350 views instead of 10 or 15?
I sent
No,
you
I hadn't.
pictures of Derpy as
Yeah,
well.
it got about 350 views.
I might have to check that out. It didn't show up on my. Well, that's because all my shorts get usually about 1,000. So that's a lot more than 350. So they wouldn't have even appeared.
Yeah, when I was scrolling your feed, I'm like, okay, you haven't posted a thing yet. Okay, I'll wait till the announcement comes up. And I look like, oh, 356. Not bad, not bad.
I also had a pipe burst under my sink yesterday.
Oh, that sucks.
Which doesn't sound bad because you're like, oh, under the sink, no big deal. You can just turn off the water. Nope, this was the overflow pipe from the filter.
Oh no!
Well, so it there's I don't know why it constantly runs. There's always like water running through. I guess probably what happens is the filter requires like a constant flow. Like it can't have water just sitting, right? It's always got to have some water running to like make it work properly, I'm guessing. Like it can't just be sitting there waiting because probably the water will get to like, I don't know, full of whatever it's in there. So there's always like a little bit of water running. So anyway, so that pipe just decided to break under the sink. So I actually attached it to the garden hose and ran it out the back door into the yard.
Smart.
Yeah, except for like at first till I could get that to work, I had my like Gorilla tape out and trying to just like temporarily tape it together because it was filling a bucket like about every minute or so. Oh my God, it was just like, that's not the thing you want to wake up and find in your kitchen. It's just like this big spreading puddle of water. You're like, oh no.
I've had flooding before. The last place I lived at, when the place was getting renovated, I was moving to a temporary place. Yeah. I'm watching TV, right? Just smoking my cigarette, and all of a sudden the water starts dripping from the ceiling from the fire alarm. I'm like, oh no, what's going on? What's going on? And all of a sudden it started pouring straight down. Like it's coming from the fire alarm, and the fire alarm is going off. I'm not touching this, and it's flooding my apartment.
Yeah.
The manager had to turn off the power for the building, disconnect this. Then you have to stop the flow of water. He was doing this all in the water, man. Like
I guess if we had turned off the whole, like the water for the whole house, then maybe it would have been okay. I could have just turned off the water, but I don't know.
I told him to turn off the water first. He's like, no, I got this. I don't want to get electrocuted. I'm like, idiot.
All right. So since Chris is here, I kind of asked the question a little bit beforehand. How many of the Turtles movies have you guys watched? Or if you've read any of the comic books, that too.
I think I've seen all of them except for the ones that have come out recently, like in the past 5 years or whatever. I've seen parts of them. I saw the Batman. Was it Batman versus them?
Yeah, Batman and Ninja Turtles.
All right, so the reason that I had the topic for today as the scariest shredder, and hold on one second.
There,
how you doing, MB?
I heard shredder.
I recently saw that Batman versus Teenage Mutant Turtles was free on one of the streaming sites. I can't remember which one. So I watched that one, and it led me down a rabbit hole where I ended up watching, I think, every Turtles movie that's come out, because I watched Batman versus Turtles, Turtles Forever, TMNT, the original live action, Secret of the Ooze, Turtles in Time, or whatever it's called, and
Turtles 3, Turtles in Time,
and the two Michael Bay films. And as I was rewatching the original live action movie, the introductory scene for that shredder, I realized this is the scariest shredder. And my defense is the whole lead up to his introduction. As soon as they get to the warehouses where they have the kids partying and stuff inside that warehouse.
And then the bell rings, then everybody gets their ass up.
Well, what I mean is, he's the only, that first shredder in that first live action film. I think is the only Shredder that could literally exist today and be a threat. I realize what I mean is, okay, yeah, the Michael Bay Shredder, big guy in a mech suit, that's very Hollywood. That's not really scary per se. And that mech suit thing would never really exist in the real world.
I just saw Wolverine, the whatever that one was, the Japanese or Asian version, where he goes to the guy and he has that giant mech suit. That's kind of how I felt that was. It's like, okay, well, I've seen this before.
The Turtles Forever, which I if you guys haven't seen Turtles Forever, it's actually a really good nostalgia factor movie.
I liked it.
I especially like the fact that they brought back the quote unquote original Turtles, the black and white Turtles from the comic books, where you can't really tell the difference between any of the turtles other than what weapon they're using, and they all have the same personality. That Shredder, evil megalomaniacal, you know what I mean? Evil guy, alien. Yeah, he uses advanced technology. So again, not really real world. But just the Shredder from the first movie, not including Secret of the Ooze, not including TMNT, not including the Batman one. This is just a guy. Yeah, he's got a scary uniform, but it's the way he manipulates the kids to doing his bidding. That, to me, was the scariest aspect, because I have kids. And I could honestly see, with the way that some of my kids complain about me and their mom or whatnot, that they could fall under the sway of this specific Shredder. Because he lets them do all the stuff that they want.
Well, yeah, you look at it, it is, it's not an uncommon thing that has happened, cults start out that way and stuff, because you're looking for a place to belong. Sometimes you find a good place for it. Sometimes you find out, well, not such a good place. More often than not, it's usually not good.
But yeah, calling him like a cult leader in that regard is probably very apt. He lets them do whatever they want, but under his rules. So there's still rules that are there, like what you were talking about. When that gong goes off, everybody knows, okay, it's time to put down the cards, it's time to put down the video games, it's time to put down
cigarettes,
the skateboards, whatnot. We have to go and we have to listen to this speech. And what is it? What does he say? I mean, literally, he doesn't say, I am Mr. Big Evil Guy. When he first appears, the first things he say is loyalty, discipline, and he's promoting somebody. He's showing that these things are important to this organization, to me, the guy that's letting you do everything. And he's showing respect. Sorry for interrupting you, Chris. He's showing respect to that individual by promoting him, saying this Dragon Dogi, the little headband thing, is only given to those important people in the group.
And what he says, sorry, Chris, just one thing real quick. What he says is, he says, money cannot buy you the honor you have earned tonight. You have made us all proud. I mean, that is his speaking is so well dialogue, because he knows how to speak to those kids.
Well, and it's not just that, but you guys brought it up. The thing is that it is very much like a cult. He talks about family, he talks about honor, all this stuff, because he wants them all to think that if they leave, it's over. They have nothing. He talks about their families throwing them aside, or not listening to him, or not being involved. And he says, I'm the guy. I'm the one that does it. And that does make him scary, because he has their attention and he has their belief. They believe him. They're like, oh, yeah, this is where I'm at. And yet, much like cults, he uses other things, sex, drugs, whatever. In this case, it's games and fun stuff
Video
the
games,
kids
yeah.
like to do. It's so, well, yeah, I wasn't going to say golf or sex, but again, being a kids movie, they wouldn't show that part. But I'm sure for the people that are there that are over 18 or 20 or whatever, they probably can get sex and stuff. I mean, again, that's not in this movie, but those would be the things, whatever he can use to keep you there and say, hey, look, this is what I've done for you. What will you do for me? Are you willing to go out there and steal for me? Are you willing to go out there and protect our family and things? And it's done very well. I mean, again, when you watch it the first time as a kid, you don't catch that. You're just like, whoa, I'd like to be there. Look at that, cool games, skateboarding, all this stuff. It does the right thing. And what's funny is it does it in a kids movie. It does the right thing to show you that there are those people out there who aren't really on your side and only use you for what you are good to them for. And that was really a well done aspect of this movie without kids realizing it.
Yeah,
because by the end of it, when they walk away from Shredder, or when they denounce Shredder, the ones that do, it shows you that, hey, look, even though somebody says this, there are other people there for you. Your family is still there for you or something. So
yeah, it really.
Hold on, I hate to interrupt you, NMB, but I want to bring this up because something Chris said. Remember, they don't actually ever start going against Shredder in that movie. They go against Tatsu because it's Tatsu and Casey Jones showing that Tatsu might be his second in command, but he's the one who's been mistreating them, not the Shredder.
Well,
yeah. And
so even after everything, it's Shredder is still king, but this other guy in the cult who has respect, well, he fucked us over, so we're going to go ahead and, kind of betray the organization, but not because of Shredder himself.
Well, he said we have a loyalty to the Shredder, and then Splinter talks, and he goes, "We're a family." He's like, "You call this here and that over there family?" He's just like, it shatters some of their realities where they're like, okay. And I mean, when you shatter somebody out of that mindset, that deep, because we talked about it not too long ago. I think the mention came up with deprogramming. I mean, that takes some people. It's easier than others, but there is an addiction to that kind of thing because it's like I feel belonged, I feel respected, I feel appreciated, and hey, I get to have fun. That's intoxicating. That's one of the things why it worked for kids because we didn't realize it, but that was intoxicating to us. Whole place full of 80s video games. Hell
yeah. And I noticed during the whole thing, yeah, they smoke cigarettes, they smoke cigars, and they are drinking alcohol. But there are no harder drugs there.
Yes.
No.
That is true. And if this had been done today in that kind of environment, there would have been drugs. And like Chris said, there was probably drugs and sex, but they kept that part out because it's a kid's movie.
Yes, but I also would say that makes it even worse because it shows that he's saying that, okay, the legal stuff, we're still going to let you do.
But you got to remember.
But you can't use the harder stuff. You can't use cocaine. You can't use heroin. I could imagine that this Shredder, as part of his thing, would have like a detox program for teenagers.
Ooh, that is the thought.
I could see him being like, okay, this type of drug is bad. Don't do it. It's going to affect your life later, later on. And I need you to be a part of this organization because I need you to become a member of the Foot Clan. I need you to become one of my foot soldiers.
Yes, that would work great in an older, for our ages now. But when the movie came out, we wouldn't have really understood that. I mean,
I'm actually surprised that character would even encourage like drinking and cigarette smoking, or
the whole thing with the drinking,
just because they wouldn't necessarily be as useful to him if they were like drunk.
Yeah, but one of the things when it comes to the smoking, the drinking is, I mean, I can't speak for Canada at that time, but we still had a smoking, non-smoking sections. You still had ashtrays in a McDonald's and every gas. I mean, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. The ashtray was actually an ashtray, a cigarette lighter. You had 2 keys, one for the door, one for the
aluminum foil ashtrays, dude, not real ashtrays. Aluminum foil.
Remember, I don't know if you know this, Daddy Lion, but even back in the day, when it came to like actual ninjas, and I have to point this credit out to Gaijin Goomba on YouTube because he's probably taught me more about actual ninja training than anything else I've ever come across, including when I practiced karate. Ninjas did smoke and ninjas did drink.
Okay.
Because one of their greatest assets was blending in.
Right. Yeah.
And when tobacco got introduced into Japan, a lot of the aristocracy, a lot of the nobles, and a lot of the merchant class smoked and drank a lot, and a lot of the lower classes drank a lot. So they would smoke and drink, and part of their training was kind of being able to hold your alcohol, being able to not drink to the point where you're inebriated, but enough to blend in.
Drunks.
Yeah. So yeah, he probably would still encourage them to smoke and drink so that they could better hide when they need to.
Right.
That's an interesting thing, but yeah.
And I'm reading into this. I know I'm reading into it, but
no, but I mean, as adults, we can read into it now because we watched it as children, and now we're thinking of it as adults, and we're reading into a lot of nuances of it. I mean, you got to be honest. That's a good thing. How many movies do you really get to do that with? You know,
especially a kids movie from the early 90s.
Was it the 90s? I thought it was the 80s.
I think it was either 89 or 90. I'm pulling those numbers out of my butt, though.
Ew.
Oh, here's something I heard, and I kind of wanted to do a video on this one. Because we know we lost from the Cosby Show Malcolm. He died of drowning. Well, actually, we've taken a hit on quite a few. But anyway, Malcolm, died of drowning. And I've known people said I could never watch the Cosby Show again because of what Bill Cosby did. And I said, and I finally kind of got to a point where I said to people, I said, Bill Cosby wasn't America's favorite dad. Bill Huxtable was America's favorite dad. You gotta separate the characters.
Art from the person.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I can do that. Sometimes it's kind of hard. I'll admit that. Like, I can't, as much as I want to go back and sometimes watch like the old Hercules and Xena stuff, I can't because in my head I can't separate Kevin Sorbo from Hercules.
I Thor?
I can't watch them because they're too campy anymore.
Well, that's
that's what it was back then. There was a lot of campy shit in the 90s.
That was the point of it.
Yeah, I know. But I tried to watch it and I was just like, oh god, dang! I was actually liking this shit. I was literally watching Hercules episodes and I was like,
now I will go back on this. I will to give the other type of argument. When it comes to, we were talking about Richard Dawkins on the previous stream. I'm not going to go into why, but when it comes to his books, the books that I still have of his, I can still read those and read them as, him talking as an evolutionary biologist and still respect and like those books, even if I've lost respect for the man.
Well, I've lost respect for certain Hollywood.
So sometimes I can do that. Sometimes I can't. It just depends on who it is and why.
Well, no, I can agree with that because, well, there's one thing. Let's take, oh God, what's his name? He's big Hollywood. He's a huge activist, big Ukraine guy. He's always into activism.
Ruffalo? Cusack?
No, he's an older actor. He did I Am Sam. He's very well known. God damn it, why can't I think of the guy's name?
Who is it?
He went to Ukraine about a year ago. He was
Sean Penn.
Sean Penn, thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I met the guy.
Okay, here's what I have to say about Sean Penn. Good actor. I've enjoyed several of his movies. I don't agree with a lot of his activism. I respect the man highly for how involved he is in the activisms he says he's a part of. Whereas I'm like, well, at least I see him. I may not agree with him on things, but at least I respect him enough. He puts his money where his mouth is, and he's not all talk. So I can respect a man like that. Now you take a guy like Robert De Niro, that's where I run into some problems with, because I absolutely love De Niro. I love the actor, I love the characters he's played, but the person I cannot fucking stand.
I think Mel Gibson, Kevin
Mel Gibson as
Spacey,
well.
James Woods, he's a fantastic thespian, but I can't stand the motherfucker.
Well, I'm just saying, again, I don't listen. Here's the first thing I tell anybody about this. Even if you're politically aligned with somebody, why are you getting your politics from the Hollywood? Both sides have that problem. It's like, I don't care. I don't want to hear about your politics. I don't want to see about your politics. Do your job. If I go into work and I talk politics, I get fired.
Yep.
I can get fired. I'm not supposed to talk about those things. So,
but you're allowed to, is the thing, right?
Well, no, it depends. It depends, because they can fire you for whatever reason they want to. The difference really with actors is that they all have individual contracts as they go along, and it's up to the people hiring them and things like that. But still, it's like, I don't need to hear what you're, and I say this to anybody. I don't care which side you're on. I don't need you to tell me who to vote for. I don't need you to tell me why to vote for somebody, because all I know is that you either, one, think you're going to get something out of that happening, or two, it follows in your particular belief system and your rhetoric. And I don't like rhetoric. I hate rhetoric from both sides. All I want is the ability to watch a movie and to say, yes, this guy can act and this guy can't. And outside of that, I really don't care. Mel Gibson's a horrible human being. If Kevin Spacey did the stuff he did, he's a horrible human being. Bill Cosby, listen, all this stuff. But I don't care. That's not, I wasn't involved in that. I am just like, you know what? I want to watch it. Because here's the problem with this. When we try to put things to the actors or the show because of politics, you get the Dukes of Hazzard.
Well,
nothing was wrong with that show. And the only reason why people didn't, wanted to cancel. I don't want to go just into the politics
thing. It's also just because of the crimes those people committed. Like Bill Cosby, it has nothing to do with his politics. It has to do with the crimes he committed.
I understand that. Hold on.
One of the examples I want to give. One of the examples I want to give is when the allegations against Michael Jackson came out, I could no longer listen to his music. And the day he died, I was finally like, thank God he's dead. I can enjoy his music again.
Yeah. I have a way of separating it. I'm able to separate it because
I do question sometimes if people are doing really horrible things, they probably don't deserve to profit from their fame.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that, Danny Lyon.
I'm not saying anything about that. Like I said, what I'm basically saying is Bill Huxtable was a character that America fell in love with, who happened to be done by an actor who did some very fucked up things throughout his life. But I still want to be able to separate America's favorite dad, because that's what he was. I mean, we loved The Cosby Show. And it had a great message, and it had a wonderful and to me, it's like, okay, this guy fucked up, but don't punish the story and all the other actors who worked hard and the people who brought that show to life and made it what it was. Because Cosby wasn't the only one; he was just a guy reading from a script. Yes, he brought Bill Huxtable to life, but that's just the character. It's like, I love Al Bundy, but I know he's nothing like Ed O'Neill.
And, I kind of agree. And I wanted to look something up real quick because I forgot. What was Hulk Hogan's real... fuck. Sorry, I turned on my internet.
I thought it
Terry.
was
What was the last name?
Terry.
Terry
It's
Crews.
Terry.
Was it Terry Crews?
Terry. I
Sorry, I turned on my internet and now all my freaking things are going off. Hold on.
Yeah, I hate when that happens.
I
pulled out the other phone, which yeah.
You were here earlier, NB. One of my chickens has like an offset beak, like a scissor beak.
Yeah.
And I named her Derpy, but she'll only eat the starter crumble. She won't eat like even if I like put regular food in the blender because she kind of like licks it up because it's small. But she wouldn't even eat the regular food ground up. She will only eat the crumbles. So I'm gonna go buy a sack of
Terry Jean I don't even know Balea. I can't.
All right, so yeah, it's Terry Balea or Balea. So that's what I'm gonna say this because it was a Facebook post I saw in one of my groups. The guy said that I don't agree with a lot of things that he said when he was alive, but as far as I'm concerned, Terry Balea has passed away. I'm not going to say whether that's a good or a bad thing, but Hulk Hogan will live forever.
That was an era of, I call that the golden age of the WWF/WWE. Because
he helped break through the WWF break out into what it was. He was one of the main voices and main faces.
Yeah, exactly. But we also had like Hulk Hogan's rockin' wrestlers, and I mean, you could buy every kind of wrestler toy there was. I mean, there was commercials, the merchandising, $1 Million Man, Macho Man. Macho Man was always my favorite.
Hacksaw, Jake the Snake,
and Mad Papa Shango.
There have been a bunch of the conspiracy theories around his death, or did this one
heart attack?
Yeah, no, I know, but a lot of them, every
much.
time somebody dies of some like thing, that's like, oh, it must have had the vax.
Yeah, I saw one post on that.
One of the things that was kind of funny, I will say after he passed, one of the things I do when I'm inside my stores working is I check out the toy section for certain things that I can sell on eBay, right? I was walking through and, these two younger guys, I'd say 20s or 30s, which really hurts me to say younger guys in their 20s or 30s at this point. Yeah. Saw me looking through and they're like, oh, are you looking for Hulk Hogan figures too? And I'm like, no, I'm looking for Transformers and Star Wars toys primarily. And he goes, oh, have you seen any Hulk Hogan toys? Because they're selling like crazy on eBay right now.
Oh,
and I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
I have one somewhere that I used to have. They were like, they were thumb wrestlers, but you put your fingers in them. And
I remember those.
I had that one. I had him. I think Andre. I think I had the Ultimate Warrior. I had about 5 or 6 of them, and those were some of my favorite toys.
I had the wrestling ring, and I had I had $1 Million Man. I had Hulk Hogan, Savage, Macho Man. I had a bunch of different characters. It was just a fun. It's too bad nobody thought about this back in the day. It's like, why didn't we put a pool? Why didn't any of my idiot parents and their friends come up with, hey, we can watch this on pay-per-view for $49. Why don't we just all chip in and watch it at somebody's house?
I actually did back when I was a kid. One of our neighbors did something like that.
Yeah, nobody did that around our neighborhoods. It seemed, unfortunately, nobody ever thought.
Well, when I lived in Spring Valley here in San Diego, we lived at the top of this one hill, and one of the guys that lived around the corner was an amateur racer. I mean, he would build his own cars, race them, that kind of stuff. So one of the things he would do is for pay-per-view racing matches or races, he would put flyers on the trees all around saying, "Hey, chip in $5, bring a potluck thing, an item, come to my house and we'll watch the race." And we actually did that a couple of times. So, I mean, I was not big into racing, but as a family, we would just sometimes do that just so we could get the whole neighborhood together. We'd have like 20 to 30 people come into this guy's house where most of the kids just played outside and all the parents stayed inside to watch the fucking race.
Nice.
So it wasn't wrestling or it wasn't MMA or anything like that, but it was, or boxing. It was just racing. And I remember that. So that should tell you how long ago it was when there was actually pay-per-view racing.
Oh, I remember when, everything was paid. All the good stuff was pay-per-view, and it was, God, back in the 80s and 90s, it was still $49.99.
Well, see, the thing about that is it's always been based off of occupancy, so they base it off of how many people are in the home. Now, you can do what he said, and invite people over. Now, making it that public, I don't know, that might be something they could probably go after them for that. But the where you get in trouble with that is if you own a bar and you tell them it's a personal address and then they give it to you for the singular household price. Because bars, the reason why when people do it, I don't know how they do it, but if your bar can hold 500 people, you have to pay for each person that can fit in your bar. And that's expensive. It's always been like that. I mean, that's why, like, in some places, I know some of our people, some places here have done it, like the arenas and stuff will bring down like the big projector and all that, and they'll charge for people to come in, and they make money off of that. And so, but
Yeah, they get.
Well, I do know I know that for smaller venues they didn't actually charge per person. That's how they could get away with it. Like a bar that had a maximum occupancy of like 50 people, they wouldn't charge for certain pay-per-view events like that.
They did, or they were supposed to pay like that. They just, for a long time, you could get away with it because they didn't go out. Somebody tipped them off that was going on, and they enforce it heavily. I mean, I know that because I remember the day the people would tell me, "Oh yeah, we're supposed to pay per person that can fit in the bar." It's anything over 20, I think, it becomes pay per person.
Well,
and again, whether or not, you got to remember, for a long time, things like that were easy to skirt because, well, there wasn't as much technology involved. Nowadays, with technology and AI and stuff, they know things before. For instance, if you have a oh shoot, I can't think of the proper name for it, but if you have a private internet server,
a VPN?
Yeah, VPN, thank you. Virtual private network. If you have that, you used to be able to go on Netflix and a lot of other stuff and surf throughout the world. Not all, but some of them now are looking for that and will not even turn on now. They'll say, nope, can't do it. Something's wrong. And it won't tell you that, oh, if you turn off your VPN, it will work again. They do that because they're getting smarter on these things. So that was the thing. Back in the 80s and 90s, they didn't have any way to double check if you were really a house or this or that, or if you had 50 people that could fit in your bar, or you could only fit 10 people in your bar. They never really had a way to do that. So now they do, and they crack down on it really hard. I mean, there's all sorts of stories, not that they get very much play, but there's all sorts of stories of bars having to shut down because their fine is so huge.
Well, I'll tell you, like, you're absolutely right, because one of the bars that I never went to when I was a kid, but my family knew the bar, the people who ran the bar and stuff. They actually lived on a condo above the bar. So they can easily say, oh, it's pay-per-view for the house, but they're streaming it.
Their system ran through the whole thing. And that's another thing people would do.
So, and I don't know if a lot of bars have that as an option nowadays, but you're actually absolutely right when it comes to the VPN stuff. I do have a VPN. Granted, it's a very cheap VPN, but it's one I use for certain things. But when I'm in Mexico, Hulu doesn't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll try to turn on my VPN to say, oh, I'm still in the United States so I can watch friggin' Hulu, but it won't work anymore. It used to, but it stopped working.
That's what I'm saying. Hulu is one of them.
And it
Disney
pisses me
Plus
off
is
because
another.
it's not like TJ's
Prime
that far
does it.
from the U.S. TJ's right across the freaking border. It shouldn't stop working just because the internet I'm using is a Mexican internet provider.
But you're involved in the classic back and forth battle. Here's what's going to happen in 5 years, 10 years, today, tomorrow, something like that. Somebody's going to figure out a way to get the VPN past whatever they're using. It'll work for a while longer. They'll figure it out. It's the same thing when people were sharing passwords. Now they can look at how many people are logged on. When they first started with Netflix and stuff, they weren't able to tell. It just said you were logged on. They didn't know if you were logged in 5 different places. They just knew you were logged in. And yes, I know that they have your oh god, I can't remember the exact title, but your
IP address.
Thank you. The IP. I thought it had another.
And that's one of the things that sucks is when you activate. I don't know about you guys, but when I activate my VPN, it creates a random IP address. So if I try to log in, that's how they're checking. Is like, oh, now you have a 7th IP. We're gonna block it.
Something like that. Yeah, it's like they have programs on it, and the thing is with AI, it'll get harder and harder because what we're starting to do, and this is kind of the scary thing about AI. I tell people is that what you're actually starting to see, and what they're starting to do now, is they're starting to basically pit AI against AI, which is only making AI smarter because they're talking back and forth about, hey, this is what I just did. And they're probably, that AI is probably saying, but you could go around me like this. And once it goes around it, somebody at that company goes like, wait a minute, why is this going on? Stop this. And they say, okay, I'll do this. And then that other AI comes in and says, wait, this workaround was working. Now it's not working. What did you do? Oh, I did this. Now you can do this. And it talks about, so what we're doing is we're teaching AI every way around everything being done from both sides. And AI being non-sentient doesn't see a problem with it. It's just working through problems like it's taught to do.
Are you sure it's non-sentient? It could be fooling us.
Well,
it doesn't matter if it's
maybe
sapient
you are AI
or not. It matters if it's sapient or not.
Hey,
so those are the things you got to remember, is that we're in this constant battle of this. So it'll get figured out for a little while. It'll go away. It'll come back, go away.
So
what's funny, to go back to the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I'm sorry for interrupting you, NB, but like one of the things I do use my VPN for is I check other countries' not copyright free, public domain stuff. And because in my head, this is how I justify it. If it's public domain in one country, it's basically public domain for the world. So that's how I get that. That's literally how this started.
I gotta go. I'm gonna run down to the feed store now. They'll be open in a few minutes, and I don't want Derpy to be hungry. So,
all right.
Okay.
Thanks for being here.
Can't have a hungry Derp.
All right. Yeah, but shoot me a picture because I'm gonna ask.
I sent it on the Instagram. I sent it already. I sent it to you, Elihu, and you as well.
Yeah, 2 pictures.
Yep.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the things that went off on the other phone when
it probably is. Yeah.
I had to mute everything.
All right, so I got a question for you guys in the entertainment area. So Esquire has ranked the 25 best superhero movies of all time. You guys want to hear the top? I'm gonna give you guys the top 5. Let me know if you agree with us or not for superhero movies. Number 5.
Okay, hold on. No, I have to know. Do they differentiate between comic book movies or full-on superhero movies?
The movies.
Well, no, I'm saying so. So, like, we were talking about Ninja Turtles. Are Ninja Turtles considered a superhero?
I'm just saying they're.
No,
I'm only
Marvel
going-
DC
What the
movies.
hell are you asking me for? I'm just going off of what Esquire put up.
I
Marvel
thought maybe
DC
they would.
movies.
I thought maybe they would have their reasoning for which movies got picked and which ones didn't. That's all.
Marvel DC. Read the list, MB.
Okay. All right. So you got actually, there's a few others, but here's the top 5: The Incredibles, The Avengers, The Dark Knight, Spider-Man 2, and Superman 78. What do you guys think for the top 5?
Say that again. What's number 5?
The Incredibles. Number 4 is The Avengers. Number 3, The Dark Knight. Number 2, Spider-Man 2. Number 1, Superman 78. That's the top 5 out of the 25.
Well, number 1, I totally agree with because of it redefined the whole idea of what that type of movie was. It had camp, but it redid it. The other ones, I'm not sure. I think it's all very subjective, but maybe.
Well, it's definitely subjective, but I would replace, as much as I love Spider-Man, and he's my favorite superhero, I would definitely kick Spider-Man 2 off the list and put in Batman 89.
Batman 89.
Yeah.
Batman 89 is number 10.
Wow.
But we're talking about the top 5.
Yeah, I know, but he's number 10. That's what I'm telling you. So.
Let's see. The Incredibles deserves to be on there. I don't know about top 5, but it definitely deserves to be in the top 10. But let's see. Dark Knight definitely. Dark Knight should either be number 2 or number 1.
Number 2. I would go with number 2, but not number 1. That's always going to be Superman.
Yeah, Superman definitely is another number 1 or number 2, just because of its cultural significance.
Yeah, isn't it in the Library of Congress?
Mm-hmm.
Well, almost. There's a whole bunch of movies that are in the Library of Congress. I think you're talking about the National Archive.
Talking about for superhero movies, yeah, the National Archive. But the Library of Congress does do the 1 or 2 movies a year that it puts on as
and cultural or historical significance. Like Star Wars, the original Star Wars is in there for not cultural, but something.
It is cultural. It is historical preservation. It's all of that stuff. It's a movie that has impacted or defined ages. And so things that happen, like the movie is an identifier for where it came from, or it meant something. For instance, I'm sure Jurassic Park's in there, Star Wars. I am sure, I don't know which one, but I'm sure one of the Star Treks is in there.
These are superhero movies, but I would definitely say in a movie category like that, yeah, absolutely. You would have. Well, I think Jurassic Park would definitely be in the top 5 for that, probably in the top 3 for its cultural and historical significance of really doing the best of blending CGI with the animatronics. I mean, it still holds up today. And when you really realize it, there's only about 20 minutes of dinosaurs in the entire movie.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, let's see.
Like Beetlejuice only had about 14 minutes of screen time in the first movie.
Yep.
So it's it's called the Library of Congress National Film Registry.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. Because I know the library, like every movie that's ever released, can submit 2 copies to the Library of Congress.
So here's what's
being in the Library of Congress doesn't really matter that much. It's what you just said that matters, Chris.
The first the first one listed here is Intolerance, made in 1916. The Nanook of the North, 1922. The General, 1926. Sunrise, 1927. And then they started doing. I think they try to do one from every year. They didn't during this. So The Crowd's 28. Modern Times, 36. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs for 37. Gone with the Wind for 39. Mr. Smith Goes to Washington, 39. Wizard of Oz, 39. Grapes of Wrath, 40. Citizen Kane, 41. The Maltese Falcon, 41. Casablanca, 42. the best years of our lives. Now, let me go. There's 906 on this list. I will go and look and see what the most recent ones are. If I can get to it. Let's see here.
But like to go back to the superhero list, I would definitely say that Avengers does deserve to be in the top 5, but only because it was a culmination of the preceding films.
So here's
okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say starting. And I don't know if it stays on year or what. But Close Encounters of the Third Kind is on there from 77. Days of Heaven from 78. Back to the Future 85. Dances with Wolves. White Fawn's Devotion, a play acted by Tribe of Red Indians in America. That's from 1910. So no, they don't. So they go back and forth. The Perils of Pauline was from 1914. 1 Week was from 1920. Foolish Wise, 22. So's Your Old Man, 1926. I mean, I don't know. I'm looking through.
Yeah,
trying
so
to find out.
they put different movies in at different eras.
They've gone back now. Yeah, to do it.
Well, I would definitely know why Citizen Kane was in there. That is a fucking.
The Princess Bride is there. The Breakfast Club. Who Framed Roger Rabbit. Decline of Western Civilization.
You know, they
Funny
had
Girl. Point Blank.
For Who Framed Roger Rabbit, they had to get some serious licensings to have certain characters, with other characters
Mm-hmm.
from different franchises, and he had to go make deals. They had to go make
deals.
deals.
And after that, they all basically said, "Nope, we're not doing it again."
Yep.
Now, here's the thing. I'm going to be honest with you. When Christopher Lloyd's character turned into that Toon thing, when I was a kid, that was some scary ass shit. I mean, that guy gave me nightmares.
Yeah, I mean, the steamroller bit, once, you think, oh, the villain's finally dead, and then you realize, oh, no, he's not dead. And then he starts, oh, God, that was, and realizing you have a villain who is that indestructible because of his Toon nature. And the fact that we never actually get to see his Toon face. We still get to see Christopher Lloyd's face. Oh, God. Yeah, that was freaky.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd is coming to Fan Expo in November.
If you haven't read that book, the novelization of that movie, do it, because the description of that scene is way crazy.
Are you talking about the thing it's based off of, which is Who Censored Roger Rabbit? Because that book has like almost nothing to do with the.
No, this is the novelization of the movie.
Okay, because I haven't read that, but I have read Who Censored Roger Rabbit, and because I read it thinking, oh, it's what the movie's based on. Let me read this, and it is completely different, because you find out at the end. Spoiler alert! Sorry for like a 70-year-old book. Roger Rabbit's the bad guy.
Who wants to read? Who would, in their right mind, wants to read about Jessica Rabbit? I want to watch Jessica.
Yeah, she wasn't banned. She was just drawn that way. Anyway, here's the 25.
Especially on the laser cut disc, that one frame.
Oh God.
So here you go. This is the top 25 best superhero movies from Esquire, and this is very questionable. 25, Thunderbolts. 24, Shazam.
No.
23, Super. I don't even know what the fuck that is. 22, Thor Ragnarok.
Which one? No, what was it? You didn't know what it was?
23, Super.
Oh,
I'm looking it up.
Sounds familiar.
I think it says Super 8. Never mind.
Number 22, Thor Ragnarok. I would not even put that in the top 30.
Oh, yeah. You know what? Super does deserve to be on the list. If you've actually watched, now that I see what it is, once I saw the IMDb still they have for it. Yeah, that movie, because it's like a precursor almost to I don't know when it came out, but it's very similar to Kick-Ass, but from more of a serious perspective.
Okay.
Basically, in his guilt, a guy goes and becomes a superhero because his life just sucks that bad.
Sounds like something Mark Millar would do. I've read a lot of his stuff. I've read The Watchmen, or not Watchmen. Sorry, that's Michael. Yeah, I've read a lot of his stuff. Like, oh god, now I can't think. Nemesis. That was one where it was like, what if Batman was the bad guy? It was like a super bad guy. There was one, oh god, damn it, now I can't think of any of them. I read a ton of them. Oh, you remember that movie that had Wanted? That movie is nothing like the book, like the comic book. The comic book is just fucking crazy. So let's see, number 22, Thor Ragnarok. I wouldn't even put that in the top 30. 21, Watchmen. I very much enjoyed that movie, though I do know a lot of people hated the ending.
I thought the ending made more sense than the original.
I thought it made more sense than some crazy alien. 20 is Superman 2. That should be a lot lower.
No, I think, well, in the 20s, I think that's fine.
To put it
I just hope Superman 4 is not on that list. Thank God.
No, it's not. Yeah. 19, Avengers Endgame. Okay. 18, Guardians.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know you're just reading the list, but I'm going to go back to talk about that one. Avengers Endgame deserves to be higher on the list because of the same reason for Avengers. Avengers was a culmination of several movies beforehand that had never been done like that before. Avengers Endgame is the culmination of several Avengers movies plus all the other stuff all coming together. It may not be as high as the first Avengers movies, but it probably deserves to be at least the top 12, if not the top 15. Not 21.
Number 17, Shin Kamen Rider. That came out in 1923, though, so I don't know anything about that.
You mean 2023?
Oh, 2023.
And yeah, I would probably say if there's going to be a Kamen Rider that's in the series, it would either be in the top 20. It would either be Shin or Zero, because those were really good.
16 is the 04 Hellboy. 15.
Nah.
15.
Roman?
15 Captain America Winter Soldier. 14 The Crow. I'm going to be honest, I absolutely love that movie.
I would say, that deserves to be in the top 20.
Original, right, Brendan?
Logan, 13. Yeah, I'd say
13? That. I could see Logan in the top 10 or at least 5 through 10 or 10 through 15. So, yeah.
The Batman is number 12.
No, Patterson should be number 20.
Into the Spider-Verse, number 11. I haven't actually seen that anime one. I don't really like that kind of animation.
Okay, the title sequences are the subtitles for this those movies. Is that the first one or is that the second or third one?
It just says Into the Spider-Verse.
Into the Spider-Verse is first one. Across the Spider-Verse is second one.
Yeah, the only reason I have watched them is I don't like that animation. That's really my thing. I don't like the visual animation.
So yeah, I would say that one. That one might. God, you're bringing up this list makes me almost want to make my own list.
Well, make your own list. I'm thinking about it myself. Number 10, Batman, 89. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Number 9, I don't agree with this one being this high up. X-Men 2. I don't agree with that.
Oh, definitely not. Especially with the way I was literally talking with Caddy yesterday about the trope dropped a bridge on him, which, if you don't know, is named after how Kirk dies in Star Trek Generations.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't include X-Men 2 because they look basically the same trope. They dropped a bridge on Cyclops, and Cyclops deserved so much more.
No, I said X2.
That's where he dies, is X2.
Cyclops? I thought he died.
Oh, no, he dies in X3. You're right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Never
at the
mind.
river's edge, at the lake's edge.
I because of the way the movies are connected so much about that point. Yeah. Okay, so it's X3 that X2 might work better than X3.
Not in the top 10 though.
Yeah, not in the top 10.
And my whole thing is, I actually when I talked with her at the Comic-Con who played Jean Grey, I said, so how did all this? Yeah,
Kamike?
Yeah, I can't pronounce her name, sorry. So I'm just gonna go with the Jean Grey actor. She's like, I said, did you know about the cameos? She goes, nah, I really didn't know if I was coming back. She's like, they killed me twice. So I thought it was kind of funny how she said that. And I asked her about Hemlock Grove, and she goes, did you like it? I said, honestly, I didn't know what the hell it was about. She goes, yeah, neither did we. It's like, oh yeah, it's like one season we're doing one thing and we think we got the characters, and then the next season we're doing something different. It's like, what the hell are we doing? But I mean, so that was interesting, but I just would not. X2, I cannot see in the top. Logan is about the only one I can really see being at that top level in the top 15. Now, number 8, I agree with because it was very unique, Unbreakable.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? I didn't even think about Unbreakable, but yeah, that one definitely.
He's a superhero.
Yep.
That one is just very well done. I mean, brings the idea of just a regular guy, finds out he's got superpowers, and then finds out his weakness, finds his super ability. But the thing is, that twist at the end, back when, he could do a decent
call me Mr. Glass.
yeah, when he could do a freaking decent twist in a movie. But, the whole thing is him learning about this. Like he comes in, he asks a question. He's like, hey, how many sick days have I called in the last 5 years? And his boss goes, all right, man, I get the message. And he gives him a pay raise. He goes, all these years, no sick days. It's like, damn, man, if you wanted a raise, you should have just said it. He's like, yeah, no sick days. He's never taken a sick day. But, I mean, you think about it. How often do you really think about how many sick days you take a year from work? I mean, how often do you
I don't work, so I don't think.
Yeah, but I mean, really, how often do you think about it?
I hate you, I do. Because I literally did this to my employer when I was asked for time off. I'm like, I've been with this company for 5 years. I haven't taken a sick day or a vacation. I want my PTO this year. Give me the last 5 days off for the year, 2024, all in a row, and pay me my money for it.
So but the Unbreakable was really great. Just based on it, his son believes in him, and even he doesn't believe in him. And then he finally, and they kind of just have that little nod where he goes, looks up his dad, and his dad just nods at him.
Well, no, his dad pushes the newspaper in front of his son. Oh, that's a good scene.
Yeah,
God, M. Night Shyamalan as a director and a writer is so hit and miss sometimes, but all 3 of those movies are good.
Yeah, Unbreakable definitely deserves being there. Wonder Woman? No, not this current one.
Which Wonder Woman? The first?
Yes, the first one.
Okay, so if we're...
the one that came out...
the first Gal Gadot one.
Yeah, that one.
Okay, I could see that one in the top 20, but not in the top 10.
All right. And then number 6, I can actually agree with this being in the top 10 for a lot of different reasons. Black Panther.
Yeah. As one as a big budget black superhero movie, and I say that specifically because Blade came before, Meteor Man came before, Blank Man came before, but they didn't have the budgets that this movie did. Plus, the messaging of the movie I thought was really good. So yeah, definitely the first Black Panther movie. I could see that as number 6.
Yeah, I could definitely see that in the top 10 for now. Personally, my personal thing is too much CGI. One of the things they were getting into is way too much CGI at this point, which was getting a little crazy. But for the historical significance, and it seemed like they really put a lot of effort into it. They both sides gave compelling, both characters. I mean, Michael B. Jordan and who was the other?
Chadwick.
Yeah,
Chadwick Boseman.
Which both phenomenal actors in their own right.
Dude, Jordan needs an Oscar, man. He's a phenomenal actor.
Yeah.
And not to mention bringing certain African cultures to the limelight, which is something we don't see very often in mainstream media. Yeah. And 2, showing respect for those cultures. Not putting them as,
You guys know that when Coolidge was filming here in Oakland, besides hiring all local kids through the schools, he bought them lunch. He let them play with the actors, basketball, table tennis. Between takes, normally on a set, everybody's quiet, everybody's doing their thing. He's like, okay, between takes, he had all the kids go over to play with the actors, basketball, table tennis. Like, we're setting up the shot, kids have fun. He let the kids enjoy themselves on the sets instead of just having them stand around like normally, like everybody does, and be bored off their ass. The dude interacted with the community. This is great about it.
I will give Chadwick Boseman all the respect in the world for keeping his personal life, medical thing private, and only with, sometimes some of these celebrities come out and they talk about it much, but I can show respect for someone who's like, no, I'm not going to air this. This is not going to be who I am. I'm going to be an actor, and I'm going to keep doing this. So I had a lot of respect for that, and a lot of respect for him as an actor. And Michael B. Jordan. You said Jordan deserves an Oscar, Eli. What movie would you say he deserves it from?
Every single fucking thing he's in.
No.
The dude nails his character. Whatever character he plays, he fucking nails it.
Let me
when he was boxing, when he was playing Creed, I'm like, I believed it.
Creed was very good.
Yeah, I believed it. When he played Killmonger, I believed it. Oh shit! What's the other movie? Oh crap! He's like John Malkovich. He's such a good actor. You can't remember everything he's in, but you know he's good. Shit! What the fuck was that movie?
Let's see.
You're looking up his IMDb, right, Mike?
Yep. Justice League Flashpoint Paradox. He does not deserve an Oscar for his Victor Stone cyborg portrayal. Sorry.
No.
The Awkward Moment. Definitely not. Human Torch in Fantastic Four or Fantastic Four Stick. Yeah, definitely not.
He was good, but no, not that one. There was another movie. What the fuck was it called?
It was just a cameo, so I'm not going to count that. Space Jam.
Cameo.
No. The New Legacy. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't see a lot of those. One, I will give him credit for because I actually watched it this week and I forgot that. I forgot I watched it until I just saw it on his IMDb. Have you guys seen Sinners yet?
No.
Not yet. I heard it was okay.
I've heard a lot about it.
It is not just okay. It is a freaking great movie. Go watch it. Yes, it's a vampire movie, but it is freaking. I mean, like the first half of the movie is just set up, so you start to sympathize and understand these characters.
You want to know something interesting about Sinners?
Red
I don't know.
That's what it was called.
What?
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was trying to remember the movie. I was thinking of it. It was Red Tails. It just came to me. Sorry.
So, we've been talking to MCU a little bit here, and we've been talking about Blade a little bit, but Blade, the new Blade, got so far as to have costume design, and all the costumes went to Sinners. So it was going to be a period. It was going to be a period piece, and I'm wondering how much of Sinners was maybe the storyline. That basically Coogler was just they got to a point they're like, we don't like this, and they said, here, you do it, and here's what we have so far. Here's the costumes, boom, go, and he maybe tweaked a few things, and poof, we got Sinners. I really wonder about that because it seems like really kind of an interesting little.
And what's funny,
there.
I originally avoided this film, Sinners, because I thought it was based on a book. Because remember, for my day job, one of the things I do is I put out the books at Walmart. So I thought, this is just the movie adaptation of this book, which I have no interest in seeing because it's just your average, like romantic comedy type book, and I was like, I have no interest in seeing it. Then someone tells me, oh no, it's actually a vampire film, and I'm like, okay, let me look at it. And when I actually saw the movie, like half the movie, I'm wondering when are the vampires going to show up? But by the time I'm starting to think that is like after the first 10, 15 minutes, they don't even show up to like minute 40. But by then I'm so invested in the characters that I'm like, I want to see who survives, why they survive, what happens.
It's very similar, not in tone or pace or whatever. It's not exactly the same. The way that they hide or keep the vampires away from you until that point is very similar to Dust Till Dawn. It's like halfway through that movie, I'm sitting there going like, okay, I know this is a vampire movie, but where the hell are the vampires? And then it literally snap, boom, there it is. And the rest of the movie is crazy as fuck. And you're like, what the hell happened here? I love that. And Sinners, like I said, not quite the same exact way, but it does the same thing. You're sitting there the whole movie kind of going like, or up to the point it happens, you're just kind of like, I know there's vampires in this, but when and where are they going to be? I'll give it another equate it to another thing, but this time to games. If you've ever played Uncharted, the first Uncharted,
I love those games.
90% of that game, you're sitting there, and if you're like me, you're going around corners expecting some crazy shit to happen because it's got this whole nice archaeological feel to it. And I kept on thinking, so when that first came out, I think my oldest was, I don't know, 3 or so maybe, or I can't remember if it was before my youngest was born or if it was both of them. Because I would play with games with them and sit on my knee and kind of bounce them so, they kind of stayed entertained, but they'd watch the game. And I'm sitting here, when I first started playing that game, I'm like, man, I don't want this thing to scare the shit out of my kids. So I play it for a while. Nothing's happening. I'm like, okay, maybe nothing happens. Damn, you go into that underground bunker near the end, and then all the zombies just boom, here it is. And it's like, what the hell? It's fun. It's cool.
It was a good subversion because everyone was used to playing Lara Croft at the time, and all the insane things that happened during those series. You think it's going to be a Lara Croft Tomb Raider clone, but it turns out to be not that until that last 10 minutes, until that last mission,
exactly,
or last 2 missions.
Yeah, and it's crazy. But I like that. I think it's really cool because it tells you you're confident in that first half of the movie. Because if a person is going to sit there expecting what's coming, let's do something because they're going to still want something going on. I think Dust Till Dawn does a really good job of creating this unnatural group of people to work together because you have a priest who, quote unquote, has lost his way with God because of things that happened, and his two kids, and they're trying to find themselves again. And then you have these two robbers, these two heist people, and they all get put together in this crazy ass situation. And I like that. It's like, do the things that people don't expect. And also, the other cool thing about Dust Till Dawn, bringing that up, is that Quentin Tarantino, I think, got paid $1 or didn't get paid at all for that screenplay. that was kind of that was the thing back then, is he kind of got into this industry because, well, anybody who knows the story, I mean, he basically was the guy that when Bruce Willis came into the video store he worked at, he would say, "Hey man, I loved you in X movie," and it was a movie that was so obscure that those actors were like, "I loved that movie too," because they took it not because they paid a lot of money, but because they loved the movie. And Quentin Tarantino recognized these movies as being good movies in his mind, and so they loved them for that, because he knew them for movies that they weren't known for.
Interesting. So I did. So like I said, I did go see Fantastic Four. No spoilers, but I'm gonna say the emphasis on family was very well done. I enjoyed the humor. It was a very family kind of movie, so the way they talk is different from the other movies we've seen, where like Johnny and the Thing, where they have their, like in the first two. Obviously, I'm not talking about the one that didn't get released, because there's actually four. There was four.
Yeah, the Roger Corman one. Yeah.
So there was that. But I mean, one of the nice things was they didn't really spend too much time on the origin part. They got through that quick, so that was nice. It sets up 4 years later. I love the 60s futuristic retro look. Kind of reminded me of the Jetsons in some ways, with some of the housings that we saw in the architecture. And like I said, Johnny Storm and the Thing's banter, very good, very family. Like they're two brothers just together, just bantering with each other, having fun. And they're all intelligent. They show they're all intelligent. They're all fucking astronauts, but they don't really ever show Ben Grimm being the pilot he is, or Johnny, they always just made a hothead who's just chasing pussy. And that's not the case in this. You have, everybody is a strong family unit, and you get things like, what you would expect is, you would like it, Mike, because you would understand the dynamics of, being a family, having to be away sometimes, like you in your split relationship with you going down to TJ's and then having to go back home at times. You understand that dynamic of how to be away from family and stuff. And I do.
Hold on, Chris. If you got to go, that's fine. It's great having you here, and I'll definitely see you if your computer's working on the wrap up tonight.
Well, I'm just sure I could probably do it without the updates going through the right things. Just right now, I'm down to one screen, and there's several drivers and stuff that didn't update properly. I'm not sure exactly what, so I'm going through a bunch of stuff trying to figure it out. I'm going to jump on with LDG and just see if we might just do a full reinstall of Windows 11 over Windows 10. Well, no, I don't mean a full one, just like kind of go over Windows 10 and update to Windows 11. So hopefully I can do that and just get past it and be done. But we're going to find out here really soon. So if not, I'll put it in the weekly wrap up if we're doing it tonight or not. But yeah, I'll let you know. But thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
All right. Later, man.
Bye.
Later, Chris.
We get to see the Thing show his piloting skills. Johnny is shown as having intelligence.
I'm going to chime in after you're done, MB.
Yeah, I know. And Galactus fucking looked amazing. I thought they really got a good actor for the voice. Just kind of a menacing tone, but not like, just kind of like flat tone, menacing, but like this is going to happen one way or another kind of thing. And it's going to go my way. That's what Galactus is. I mean, to him, we're insects. I did like the different Silver Surfer they use. I think when you watch it, you'll see the reason why. It actually does fit with the story as it's going through. Had a very good first, second, third act. I thought it was really good. Thought they took it seriously, and I believed it was the first Marvel family. All right, Elihu.
My turn. Okay. Marvel needs to relook at their marketing department because they screwed up with the new Captain America. The whole premise was the leader is going to release the Hulk. Well, we knew all about that in the trailer. For Fantastic Four, they did the exact same thing. We knew the whole entire plot of the movie. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen the movie, you know what happens. I mean, you started with the exposition. The first line he said was 4 years ago. Why do you have to tell us this if we already know this happened 4 years ago? The exposition was unnecessary. Is Johnny a mathematician? Is he a linguist? What the fuck is he? That was never specified. And what's up with shit? What's up with Galactus shit? They just sit there for 4 years. Nothing about it is what the hell is up with that? Like, what the hell? And I even called when I predicted what the movie was going to be about. I mean, there was really no thrill action. There was no death-defying. Oh my gosh, what's going to happen? Like, yeah, okay, you do this, you save somebody. You do this, you fix this. Okay, yeah, we get it. Where's the action scenes? Where's the thrill in this? We got some major CGI in space. Yeah, Galactus was cool. I like that. I like how they portrayed Galactus' character. But we really do not need that exposition too much. I mean, they are dragging. If they want to do the next project, they do not need to release any trailer, just a 30-second teaser trailer, and that would be it. Because what we saw in the trailer about the whole pregnancy thing, that they're like, oh no, she's not pregnant. Yeah, she was pregnant. They announced in the trailer that she's pregnant. And that scene is not even in the movie. I'm like, I hate it when they show us trailers of a movie and it's not even in the scene, it's not even in the fucking movie. I'm like, what is the point of this trailer? This is supposed to be part of the movie.
Well, what? Remember when a trailer gets made, it's before the final edit.
Yeah.
And
sometimes
why do you have to erase characters?
Hold on, Elihu. Marvel has done that several times where they've shot things specifically for the trailers.
Yeah, I hate that.
I don't. I like being misled sometimes. But at least when it comes to Marvel movies or in comic book movies, I think it's okay to do that.
Well, because you're being misled in the movie by showing false trailer or showing false footage.
I am going to say, I do kind of agree with Elihu on that one because that actually stopped us from going to see a movie. Was actually just a bad trailer of Big Hero 6. We looked at the trailer and we're like, yeah, this doesn't look that interesting. And then, we watched the movie and we're like, well, fucking A, why didn't they tell us this was what the story was a little bit about? I thought it was just some romp action, another superhero movie. And it's like, no, it was more than that. And it's like, you didn't even there was nothing in the trailer to give any of that away. You'd have been better off making it come off as a family movie and then have given us some of that. But
people were upset when they did that with Marley and Me because they thought it was a dog family movie and a lot of parents took their kids to it and they walked out halfway. It's like, this is adult situation heavy swear word movie. No, this is not a family movie. Well, yeah, that does not work, dude.
I understand that. Well, hey, I'm gonna be honest. We had people taking their kids to go see Deadpool, an R-rated movie, and then about 10 minutes into the movie, they were taking their kids out, and were these young kids, and I'm thinking, what kind of R-rated did you not understand?
I remember that the main complaint was hang on. The main complaint about the Deadpool was, yeah, he's comparing himself to Jesus. Well, wait, did you watch the trailer when he said he's Marvel Jesus? That was in the fucking trailer, lady. I've seen those
Well, not
complaints.
only that,
yeah,
like the Batman '89 movie. I remember the controversy when McDonald's came out with the Batman movie Happy Meal toys.
You're thinking Batman Returns.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about both of them because they did. I think they did cups for the first one, and for the second one, they actually had toys.
Yes,
because I actually had some of the toys, and a lot of parents, mine weren't, but a lot of parents were mad because of how violent it was, and they were, you know, this is not a kids movie. Why are you making a Happy Meal toy for not a kids movie?
Actually, my family didn't care. I loved it, and they loved it. Yeah. Well, you got to remember there were people like there's been people like that forever. There was a lady who was trying to get. And, you know, she was one of those Christian conservatives back in the early 90s, those kind of people. And they were into the early cancel culture because they were trying to get Married with Children canceled because their kids asked to watch it. And she figured Married with Children was one of those family shows. And they watched it with her kids and realized, okay, I'm like, okay, you didn't like the show. She tried to get it canceled. And
it's
I'm
a family, but not a family show.
So that was one of the earliest ones I remember reading about of trying to get a show canceled, starting with cancel culture. And yeah, she was a conservative Christian. Trust me, she was all that. She was one of those cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs types, I think. I'm like, why not just tell your kids you can't watch it? Well, they might go to a friend's house. Well, then what are you going to do?
Kids will be kids.
Oh, God, and I'm looking it up. They only had 4 toys for the McDonald's Happy Meal. A Batmobile, the Batman ice thing that he uses at the end, a version of the Penguin's duck-looking thing with an umbrella, but it's not really a duck, and a vehicle that wasn't in the movie at all, Catwoman driving a cat-themed car.
Oh, yeah, I remember those. Yeah, and well, the problem was people went in and saw the movie and they were like, well, this isn't a kid's movie. And, well, yeah, you could kind of say that's kind of where they went the whole direction with Joel Schumacher in the third Batman.
Yeah.
Because they made it more family friendly.
Campy, yeah.
Yeah, which, like I said, I still love it as a guilty pleasure. But
yeah, I give it a pass only because of Jim Carrey's performance. I think they could have reduced the camp in Batman and Robin, but instead they dialed it up, and that's one of the reasons I think Batman and Robin didn't do so well.
Well,
yeah, your interest was good. His was better.
No, their biggest mistake. Well, first off, their biggest mistake was putting Arnold Schwarzenegger in the movie because when I actually knew that was going to destroy the movie because I'm like, and I was a big Schwarzenegger fan, but I'm like, this is not Mr. Freeze. All the puns and everything, I'm like, that's not Mr. Freeze. Now, granted, Tommy Lee Jones was not playing he was trying to play more like a Joker type character than what Two-Face really is.
She never replaced Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, he was not Billy D. Williams. Yeah, that actually, did anybody find out why the hell he wasn't put in that movie?
As far as they were concerned, he didn't have enough star power. They wanted a headliner.
Yeah.
So they actually, similar to Marlon Wayans, they actually still paid him more money, paid him not to act. They still paid out his contract.
Marlon Wayans for...
Oh, I don't, okay. Originally for Batman Returns, they were going to bring in Robin, and they were going to have Marlon Wayans play Robin.
Okay.
But by the time of Batman Forever, they decided that he wasn't a big enough brand name to bring in people to watch. So they recast him with Robin as Chris O'Donnell and still paid out Marlon Wayans' contract because they just considered that a better move. So both Billy D and Marlon Wayans got paid not to act in Batman Forever.
You know, it was a funny thing. When I was listening to the guy who played Michelangelo in Turtles, since we're talking about team, and you know, they were talking about somebody asked about your show being successful, and it's like, well, yeah, we were all surprised, and he goes, well, what do you consider any of your shows successful? and they all went down, and he was like, okay, to me, a successful show is the check clears. I got paid. He said, no, this is, and he had a story to it, which I absolutely loved. He said, okay, I was doing that. We were voice actors. We were doing the show, and it was set for 12 episodes. And they went in, they did six of the scripts and put the dialogue in it and did all that. And then they come in for the 7th episode and they're told, yeah, this show is getting canceled. They're not going to do it. So he said somewhere on some shelf in some dusty area, there are 6 completed episodes of a show that are never going to see the light of day, but my check cleared. So as far as I'm concerned, that show was a success. So as far as he's concerned, I got paid. The show was a success. What they did with it doesn't matter. But it's interesting when you listen to voice actors and you listen to how their acting jobs are completely different from, regular actor jobs.
Yeah, because one of the things I was watching, I can't remember who it was, but they were talking about their voice acting gigs. One of the things they complained about was how rare it is for them to actually, 1, have a table read, and 2, to act with their co-stars.
One of the things I found out was the Turtles, they were all together, but take the X-Men series, the cartoon, and I talked to the guy who played Wolverine and Beast, and none of them had actually met each other until they started going to cons together, because they were all doing their lines in different cities in different states. So some places had that together. That was one of the things that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill liked, was that they would do their scenes together. For Batman and Robin, they'd be in the same, or for Batman and the Joker, they'd be in the same room together and stuff. So they really enjoy doing that versus, just doing their lines and, not even able to interact with the other people.
Well, get this. Greg Proops lives in Los Angeles. When he was doing Bob the Builder, he lived in Los Angeles. Okay? Los Angeles. They would fly him to England to go to a recording studio to do the voiceover, to do his voice for the show Bob the Builder for a day or two. Then they'll fly him back. I'm like, wait, he was in LA. They couldn't win the studio. No, they flew him all the way to England just to do the voice, record the voice. I'm like, okay, he got a free trip to England. He loved that.
But I'll pass that up. It's like, that was probably the best voice acting gig he ever got.
He loved
back when
that.
I actually cared about it, there was a blog post I saw on Tumblr. So this was like 15 years ago. It was about a woman who did voice acting for, I want to say Eon, or one of the anime or companies that imports anime. And she did a bunch of small roles at the time for various animes. But she never went into the studio. She actually recorded from her house almost all the lines she ever did. And it was because she was disabled. And it actually created animosity with some of her other people, because they're like, what is she so, she's not a big actor. She's not a big name. She's not anything like this. Why can't she come in? And it's like, well, because she can't walk. But the whole act of not being able to actually come inside the studio was a major point for some of the roles she got, because they're like, well, if you can't come into the studio, we're not going to hire you. So I can understand. And even then, they still weren't recording together, but they're like, well, everyone else has to come into the studio, but she gets special treatment. But the whole thing was like, yeah, but she can't walk. So it's a lot harder for her to get to the studio.
Well, nowadays it'd be a lot easier for these people to interact differently and do that, because they could do it over Zoom calls and stuff to do rehearsals now and things like that if they want to. I mean, I don't know if they do that, but I would imagine I would imagine some of them would think of that. I mean, just seems like it'd be a little common sense. I still love that story I got from the guy who did Leonardo, where he wanted to have, he's like, come on, let me be goofy. Let me do something. He goes, no. It's like, you're the leader. He leads. He's like, so yeah, pun intended, I got to be the quintessential straight man. And the fact that he's gay just made that even funnier. It's kind of like watching How I Met Your Mother when when Neil Patrick Harris came out as gay, and it's like, why does this just make the show a lot more funny?
All right. Well,
But, yeah.
I'm going to end the stream a little bit early because about 10 minutes ago, I received a email from one of my employers saying I got to finish some paperwork. I misfiled some stuff, so I got to get that done. So,
so you did not want to talk about 31 Atlas. Okay.
31 what?
31 Atlas.
What's 31 Atlas?
That mysterious object in space. The comment.
Okay. we'll throw it out for 4 minutes. You got until I finish the cigar.
All right, you guys.
I told them they asked if I could fill out the paperwork before 10 o'clock. So go ahead, talk about 31 Atlas because I forgot all about that.
Yeah, in case you guys are wondering, there's a mysterious, quote unquote, mysterious intergalactic object. It's not an alien craft. It's a comet. It's called 31/Atlas, ATLAS. It was discovered in December 2025. Yes, the latest picture saw it move half a degree. That is because it probably impacted something or an expel of gas because it is close enough to the sun for it to do that. It is not an alien craft coming to Earth to invade us or say hello, okay? There is zero probability of that being an alien craft. It has all the probabilities of a comet.
Based on trajectory, yes, it did come from outside the solar system, but no, it is not an alien spaceship. Yeah, definitely an outgassing could have easily changed the course, and as you said, the outgassing or whatever caused it only shifted its trajectory by a half a degree. It's not like it made a left-hand turn.
Yeah. But what is really going to be cool is 2007 FT3. It's an asteroid about the size of a 15-story building. It's slated to impact the moon in 2023. What is it? When is it going to be? Sorry, soon. 2024, October. October 5th, 2024. Impact possibility probably about 2 to 4%, which will be along the southern part of the moon. To be easy, specifically southern part of the moon. The impact is supposed to be estimated about 500 kiloton explosion, which means anywhere on the Earth, you got clear skies, day or night, you will see a flash on the moon. This is how big the impact will be. It's about a 15-kilometer crater, about 32-mile wide crater. It's about how wide it'd be, but it's not going to alter the moon impact. It's not going to crack or anything. So anything you hear about the 2007 FT3, don't freak out. It's just going to be a light show on the moon, okay? And a nice new crater.
Is it going to hit the day side or is it going to hit the night side of the moon?
It's going to hit the day side of the moon.
Okay.
There is a high probability that moon fragments will fall to Earth, but it's not probably at a velocity of 32,000 miles an hour, but an estimated about 10 to 12. It'll be a longer streak in the air and size of a fist-size moon rocks. Have a high probability of landing on the ground.
Oh, really? I didn't think it. I think.
An asteroid goes about 30,000 miles an hour through space when it hits the Earth atmosphere. This is coming from the moon, so it'll go about 10 to 12,000 miles an hour, which means the streaks will be longer and a higher probability of collecting moon rocks.
Cool. And this is going to happen in 2 years?
A couple months.
Oh, they said 27.
No. No, it's called 2007 FT3.
Oh, okay. I thought you said it. I thought it was called 2027 because that was. I thought I misheard you.
Oh, no.
Okay, well that'd be cool. Get it. Keep me updated on that because I'll try to have my camera out on my tripod if it happens because that sounds like something cool.
Yeah, right now it's zero possibility on a Torino scale it's going to hit Earth. So that's a good thing. But there's going to be a huge flash. Nobody's seen something like this in about 500 years. I mean, the moon gets an average of dust-sized particles to coin-sized particles hitting it every single day, which we don't go to see unless you have a telescope to see the small flash because of the regular reflection, the heat and the friction. But this is going to be so massive, you'll see the flash with the naked eye.
Cool. I look forward to it.
This is science tip for the day.
But I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. I'm just doing something on the other phone real quick. And yeah, I'm going to end the stream because I got to go finish my day job stuff because I screwed up apparently. All right. Later, folks.
Later, weirdos.